Good evening, welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom. Tonight, we dive into a fiery debate over Delhi's decision to weave the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, the RSS, into our school curricula in Delhi. As of today, the BJP-led Delhi government's Rashtraniti initiative promises to teach our children the RSS's contributions to nation building, marking its centenary. But is this education or indoctrination? That's the key contention. Now, the RSS champions its cultural legacy, claiming a vital role in unifying Hindu society, but critics like Congress leader Manickam Tagore point to its absence from the freedom struggle and the 1948 ban after Gandhi's assassination. They ask, should schoolrooms glorify an organization once at odds, allegedly, with the tricolour? Now, the BJP counters this, arguing that this narrative enriches our history. The role of the RSS enriches our history. They spotlight social service of the RSS alongside figures like Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. They insist it's about balance, not bias. Meanwhile, the Congress warns of superstition potentially eclipsing science and the possibility of a curriculum that might lionize figures like Nathuram Godse, Gandhi's killer. Now, the RSS promises transparency, addressing the ban and post-independent contributions, but can it dodge the allegation of politicization? With the BJP ruling Delhi, will this spread to other states BJP ruled, perhaps shaping a unified narrative, or will it deepen divides? As an anchor and journalist, I see this on both sides. Education should inspire critical thought. It shouldn't dictate allegiance. Our children deserve the truth. Freedom struggle heroes and nation builders alike, free from propaganda. Tonight we question the RSS, the Congress and the BJP with tough questions. Will this curriculum unite us or fracture our shared history? That's what we're going to find out. Joining us on the program this evening, we've got Rakesh Sharma, the author and former Rajya Sabha MP, Ratan Sharda, another well-known author, Mahima Singh of the Congress Party, and Dr. Ruchika Sharma, a historian. Let me come across to you first, Rakesh Sinha. How do you, sir, address the Congress criticism that this move to introduce the RSS as part of the curriculum in Delhi risks glorifying the RSS, an organization historically which the Congress claims has been absent from the freedom struggle? How would you respond to that?
You know, in the last 100 years, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, despite all kind of state confrontation by the state with the organization and allegations by the army of the intellectuals created and patronized by the Congress regime, it worked among the tribals. It worked among the Dalits, which is known as Seva Basti. It worked among the labor field. And the essence of the work is to inspire the people to work for the society. So RSS can be defined as Sri Dattatreya Hoshwaleji today defined in a meeting, that Indians' energy, Indians' motivation is the work of the RSS. Nothing more, nothing less RSS. The allegations for the political reasons by the Congress party have been all have been proved by wrong by the court, and the biggest court is the people's court, and the Indian people have rejected the Congress allegation. I'm talking about the history. History is not an static thing. The iconization and de-iconization, okay, this process should continue.
All right, so you say those facts are wrong. Let me take that across to Mahima Singh. The BJP says that the RSS's refusal to join the Quit India movement was a strategic choice. They've said this in the past. It focuses on cultural unity. They say that this is not disloyalty by any means. How would you respond to what Rakesh ji is saying and what the RSS has said earlier about its historic role?
Jai Hind. Vishnu, why don't I begin by referring to Sardar Patel's letter to Shyama Prasad Mukherjee from 18th of July 1948, which should be taught in those textbooks, by the way. I'll quote an excerpt from that letter verbatim. As regards the RSS and the Hindu Mahasabha, the case relating to Gandhiji's murder is sub judice, and I should not like to say anything about the participation of the two organizations. But our reports do confirm that, as a result of the activities of these two bodies, particularly the former, that is the RSS, an atmosphere was created in the country in which such a ghastly tragedy became possible. There is no doubt in my mind that the extreme section of the Hindu Mahasabha was involved in this conspiracy. The activities of the RSS constituted a clear threat to the existence of government and the state. Our reports show that those activities, despite the ban, have not died down. Lastly, he says, the letter goes on, but what I'm quoting lastly is, indeed, as time has marched on, the RSS circles are becoming more defiant and are indulging in their subversive activities in an increasing measure. This is history, Vishnu, and you have a historian also on your show. And this is Sardar Patel, a leader whom the RSS, whom the BJP has tried to misappropriate often and to great extents. So you see, when Sardar Patel speaks like that, I should also remind your viewers of this graphic which was published. This is Bapu Gandhi, and this is, Shama Prasad Mukherjee and Savarkar, their beloved Savarkar. And what you see, there are 10 heads like Ravan, Bapu Gandhi in the center, many leaders including Pandit Nehru and Sardar Patel. So that is the legacy of the RSS.
All right, let me get a response to that. Ratan Shardaji, would you like to come in, raising several questions, Mahima, on the role of the RSS in India's freedom struggle, essentially saying that they weren't national, they were opposing a national cause. Rakeshji, hold on. Ratan Sharda, you've been writing through your notes. Rakeshji, 1 second. Ratan Shardaji, go ahead.
Well, Rakesh wants to take the floor. I'm fine.
No, go ahead, Ratan Shardaji. I'll come to him later.
See, one can quote so many letters from so many people. You can quote Gandhi either way. You can quote Sardar Patel either way. The same Sardar will remove the ban. The same Sardar who just said, give us the constitution, written constitution, will remove the ban. Now, what he says on 6 January 1948, अपने अधिकारियों और शक्ति पर जोर देने के बजाय सत्ता में बैठे कांग्रेस के लोगों को संघ के साथ अलग तरीके से पेश आना चाहिए। दंडात्मक कार्रवाई से किसी संगठन को कुचलना संभव नहीं। संघ के लोग ऐसे नहीं है जो स्वार्थ के लिए लड़ेंगे, वे देशभक्त हैं, वे अपनी मातृभूमि से प्रेम करते हैं। नॉट ओनली दैट, लेटर ही सेड दैट संघ इज ऑलरेडी देयर टू वर्क विद द कांग्रेस। So Patel writes a letter saying that संघ अगर हमारे साथ काम करता ठीक है, तो you are either way right or wrong. You cannot do both. And CID gave a report within 1 month of Gandhi's assassination that RSS had no hand. And the lady is mixing up Hindu Mahasabha with RSS. They were two different organizations. RSS, Hindu Mahasabha had their own differences. And who benefited from Godse, by the way? Congress benefited. They milked that particular episode all through their lives. They have exploited Godse to maximum. Who has suffered? RSS suffered. 30 years, Hindutva went back 30 steps because they put every blame on RSS without any evidence. Courts had no mention. Police had no mention. As I said, CID had no mention. But you can create a myth. I also have book. We can have book versus book. You can have book versus book. What I quoted is also part of the book. Let us be sane about the debate. Let us be sane about the discussion. In 1942, you said Hemu Kalani was hanged to death because he sabotaged British Railway. Devipal Chaudhary, Jagatpati Kumar in Bihar were died in police bullets trying to hoist tricolor. You had Balaji Raipurkar again who died in police firing in Vidarbha, in Chimur. You had in Goa, Satyagraha in 1955, Rajabhau Mahakar who lost his life in police bullets. So tell me one Congress person except Lala Lajpat Rai who died in British police hands. Nobody. You have line of Congress, RSS people. There are people in jail in 1930. There are people in jail in 1942. So you can just keep on nodding your head because you believe one version of truth where he said only a few people fought for national freedom. Netaji was sidelined. Tilak was sidelined. Lala Lajpat was sidelined. And all the people who were not into this Nehruvian history, they were removed from the history books. So is that history?
Okay.
History is that you give complete information.
Okay, Ratanji, 1 second. Let me bring in Dr. Ruchika Sharma here. Ruchika, besides the points that Ratan Sharda mentioned over there and what Rakesh ji mentioned earlier on, the BJP argues that the RSS's social service and cultural contributions, not just before independence, but after independence and after, let us say, even earlier, 1925, justify inclusion in the curriculum. Why do some insist that this is indoctrination when this curriculum also covers freedom fighters like Netaji?
First of all, I think it's very important that their contributions are highlighted. And I would like to highlight a few of the RSS contributions as well. They had brought out a partition remembrance module very recently for the NCRT, in which they have said that the persons responsible for partition of the nation are Congress, Mountbatten, who's the English viceroy at that point of time, and Muslim League. They have completely sidelined the role of the RSS in the partition. And I'm hoping that once they bring out the history of the RSS, they will bring out how in 1937, 3 years before the Lahore resolution was passed by the Muslim League, by Fazlul Haq, which said that India is two nations, one is Hindu, one is Muslim. Before the two-nation theory was officially accepted by the Muslim League, in 1937, the shining star of RSS, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, made a very powerful speech in which he said that in India live two enemy nations, one is Hindu and one is Muslim.
Right.
And that he has absolutely no qualms in claiming that these are two nations, that the English have not divided these two nations. The English are not responsible for it. The Hindus have been reacting and responding to the massive Muslim conquest that has happened for years upon years on us. Then M.S. Golwalkar had a very similar view how Hindus and non-Hindus, including Muslims and Christians, were two separate nations. So I think it will be very interesting if this particular bit is highlighted, how RSS movements such as the Shuddhi movement and the Gaurakshak movement fanned a lot of the communalism, and how this competitive communalism between RSS and the Muslim League eventually led to the partition. I am also hoping that they will highlight how the RSS has had a very checkered past with respect to the Indian national flag. And how for the longest
we'll come to the flag argument in just a little while. Rakeshji, would you like to respond to that? You know, several points that she mentions about how the RSS and its legacy is dubious, it's questionable, and the entire idea of one unified India was perhaps at odds with what RSS leaders at the time believed in. Rakeshji and then Ratanji.
I expected some concrete criticism from the panelists. But I am sorry and I am really pained that the historians, the historians are unaware of the difference between Hindu Mahasabha and RSS. And I would suggest, if they don't hate, read my book on Dr. Hedgewar, in which there is a chapter of the Hindu Mahasabha and RSS. If Hindu Mahasabha was a genuine and correct movement, and Savarkar ji was the only theoretician of the Hindutva, then Dr. Hedgewar was wrong to forming RSS. In fact, there were bitter differences between the two, and Hindu Mahasabha, to counter RSS, established Ram Sena and Hindu militia. There are so many point of differences. In Vande Mataram paper in Hindu Mahasabha, there were 12 series of 12 articles against Dr. Hedgewar. The editor of that paper was G.G. Adhikari, who was a Hindu Mahasabha leader close to Savarkar ji. So Savarkar ji is our ideological neighbor. Hindu Mahasabha is ideological neighbor. We don't share the Hindu Mahasabha's concept of Hindu Rashtra. We don't share the Hindu Mahasabha's politics. And as far as Shyama Prasad Mukherjee is concerned, it was Nehru who is Nehru as a political criminal who co-opted Shyama Prasad Mukherjee in his cabinet. If Shyama Prasad Mukherjee ji was a traitor,
yes,
he supported the Muslim League, then why did Nehru brought him in the cabinet?
Okay, Ruchika disagrees. Ruchika, go ahead.
No, I'm just one point.
Sure.
Let me finish. You see, on 11th February 1947, there was debate in the Central Council. Sardar Patel was Home Minister. Jafar Sharif raised the question about the RSS, and Sardar Patel presented the report of all states of the Indian government, all provinces. No province claimed that RSS had any role in the communal right. In fact, they said that RSS is protecting Hindus. Second important thing, last time ending with that is since 1965 war, 1971 war, 1948 when the Pakistani rebellions came in Jammu Kashmir, and in Kargil war, and the COVID, who came? Not leftists. They were critiquing the RSS. And during the COVID war, Prime Minister mentioned today, RSS, thousands of the RSS people taking the risk of their life at the roads. This is the service which Dr. Hedgewar preached, and this must be taught to the students of class 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th.
Ruchika wanted to come in. Ruchika, go ahead.
I have just a very simple argument to this. One is, of course, the fact that does Mr. Sinha not consider V.D. Savarkar and M.S. Golwalkar as RSS ideologues? Because as far as my memory serves, M.S. Golwalkar was the second Sar Sangh Chalak of RSS. And it is his thoughts, by the way, which outweigh that of the Muslim League, because this is 10 years before the Muslim League comes in and talks about the two-nation theory and puts it in the Lahore resolution. M.S. Golwalkar has already ratified the two-nation theory. So to say that somehow the Hindu Mahasabha and RSS are different, their ideologues have always been the same. M.S. Golwalkar served the Sar Sangh Chalak. V.D. Savarkar was a very big ideologue of the RSS. A whole ideology of the RSS has been shaped by him. M.S. Golwalkar's role in criticizing the Indian national flag, you said you don't want to talk about it, but I would like to quote M.S. Golwalkar on this, where he says that it's the Kesari Dhwaj which should be put in as the Indian national flag and not the tricolor. And he made a very insidious point saying that the green has been introduced because they consider green as the color of the Muslims, when that was clearly not the case, right? And he thinks that therefore this particular flag,
okay, let me get a response on that. Ratanji, one of the critical points which has been mentioned is the entire flag controversy and the fact that the argument is that many in the RSS have not accepted our Tiranga, our national flag, till much, much later. And that's a point that's been brought up over here. What is the RSS's defense of that?
One, we talk of Guruji. Guruji in 1971, last interview before he died, and after 2 years, he said that as long as every citizen of this country, whether Hindu, Muslim or Christian, believes that their forefathers are our forefathers or their forefathers, our culture is their culture, they may have different religion, but they are our people. This was repeated by all the Sarsang Chalaks. So should I go back to 1939 or take it views when he was already serving RSS for nearly 31 years? One. Secondly, if partition is the issue, then Jinnah being part of Congress should be also named as Congress person who brought in partition. Thirdly, 1893 was the first time when Sir Sayyid Ali said that we are two qaums, we cannot live together. That poison was already in the Muslim League right from 1908 to blame Savarkar, who said we will have an Akhand Bharat, we'll have a secular constitution where no community, no religion will have any favoritism for anybody, will have standard, same uniform rules for every religion, every person. Is that secular, or is it secular to have special minority provisions in a constitution which is supposed to be secular? And you talked about one more thing. She talked about, Kesari and tricolor.
Yes.
Dr. Hedgewar celebrated the complete freedom resolution of Congress passed in 29, that we'll celebrate 26 January 1930 as a Freedom Day, and we'll appreciate the full freedom resolution passed by Congress, while Dr. Hedgewar's full freedom resolution in 1920 in Congress had been rejected by the resolution committee. But he still did it. Every Shakha at that time celebrated it. And as far as flag is concerned, what is the flag committee recommendation? A rectangular Bhagwa Dhwaj. Bhagwa Dhwaj, rectangular Bhagwa Dhwaj with a charkha in that, which Gandhiji stopped, and then the new flag came. So every person has his opinion. It may not be the opinion of the majority. When Gandhiji decided against the flag committee report, which had also Nehru and Patel, that was also, what was there, the dictatorship or all something wrong? I am not saying anything against Gandhi. I am just saying these frivolous points have no meaning. I showed RSS people died carrying tricolor in Kashmir during all wars, even during 1950 Goa Satyagraha, during 1942, and they have been in the forefront of every defense activity.
All right, so they've been clearly involved,
or you should just talk about tricolor.
With the national cause. Mahima, respond to that. Also, the point that he was mentioning about Jinnah, who has once been who was associated very closely with the Congress party at one case. The point that he says that he was the creator of Pakistan. So if you're talking about unity, what about the divide that Jinnah created?
You see, Vishnu, the frivolity actually lies in the BJP and RSS's stances, that they are very conveniently taking today, rewriting history, at least attempting to do so, and being criticized world over, books being written over the BJP's and RSS's attempt to rewrite history today. And I mean, it's all over the internet. But I just want to say, Vishnu, it is quite disappointing and disheartening when panelists on your show can hyphenate what was said by Sardar Patel about the RSS regarding Bapu Gandhi's assassination. During that time, when the ban was put, when the ban was lifted, there were conditions imposed, including that they will accept the tricolor. That was one of the conditions for lifting the ban from the RSS. And here we see BJP and RSS, both right-wing outfits. They are to be hyphenated. They are trying to dissociate with each other today, confused as ever. But what they're trying to do is today, having hyphenated India Pak, having hyphenated Godse and Gandhi, they are today trying to completely dissociate themselves, de-hyphenate themselves with the criminal antecedents of this so-called NGO. India has 33 lakh NGOs, by the way, Vishnu.
Right.
RSS is one of those 33 lakh NGOs.
All right, look.
What is the legacy of this? You see, I've waited patiently. Allow me to make my point, Vishnu. What is the legacy of this organization with criminal antecedents? Let me just tell you about the flag. Much has been said, but I should not let this debate end without verbatim quoting Golwalkar saying, "The people who have come to power by the kick of fate may give in our hands the tricolor, but it will never be respected and owned by Hindus. The word three is in itself an evil, and a flag having three colors will certainly produce a very bad psychological effect and is injurious."
All right, Mahima, fair enough.
That's what.
Rakesh ji, I need to wrap this up. Would you like to respond once and for all to that? Go ahead. Ratan ji, you want to respond? Yeah, go ahead. 30, 40 seconds. Or Rakesh ji, one sec. I only have so much time for one speaker.
Bombay Presidency,
go ahead.
Morarji Desai's explanation.
Three features of the RSS. One, that RSS has never given memorandum to the British regime. Dr. Hedgewar had never met any British officials, and Dr. Hedgewar in 1921 in the court said India wants complete freedom. As far Golwalkar ji is concerned, he never supported two-nation theory. Okay. He is the biggest votary of the Akhand Bharat, and anti-Pakistan Day was celebrated by one organization, that is the RSS. And as far as the RSS participation in the 1950 movement, 1942 movement,
funding the Johnson?
Okay, all right,
the most painful thing is that
Okay, Mahima, one sec. Mahima, let's all agree to disagree on this point. This is one which is clearly divisive, but one which in a sense is defining, or perhaps some would suggest redefining the way we read history. It's said that history is in the eye of the beholder, for right or for wrong, but these are changes which are presently being introduced, and it's certainly something that we will continue to debate, looking at both sides of this. I'd like to thank you all very much for joining us with that. Well, there you have it. It's an important conversation which has been taking place on our heritage, on our culture, on our identity. A debate over pegged to the decision of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, the RSS, to enter into or be named as part of the school curricula of schools in Delhi, which is what the BJP-led Delhi government's Rashtraniti initiative promises to teach our children. The role of the RSS's contributions to nation building, marking its centenary. The Congress says that that's unacceptable for the reasons you heard on this program. Where do you, as the viewer, stand? We leave it there on Left, Right and Centre. From all of us here, good night.